Yo, what's up, guys? It's Harrison. I know I took a little break from doing the podcast, but we're back with Connor. Let's say hello, Connor.
Hello. I'm very nervous.
Where can people find you, Connor?
Pretty much, I only post on TikTok. I don't do any Instagram stuff, so just Nerd Connor on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, if I remember, I'll put a link down in the description. So if you want to go check out his videos, a lot of Star Wars content, Marvel, kind of similar to me, go check him out. And we're just going to get into it. Obviously, we're both wearing Arsenal shirts at this point. And when we're recording this, Arsenal have just come off a 4-2 win against Leeds.
Very stressful.
I know this podcast usually revolves around movies, but I want to do more, have a normal conversation with people. So what did you think of the game?
God, well, the first half I thought played really good, and just played like I hoped we could have played for the whole of the season so far. But then I got the second half and I got a bit nervous.
The first half, I thought we were playing brilliant. Like, we could have easily put that game. Well, we did put the game to bed on paper. 3-0 up at half time. Like,
I mean, we did play well in the second half as well, but not as good.
We got complacent, I think, is the best word to use. Like, we just sat back and were like, yeah, we're going to win. It's like Chelsea all over again. We're just going to breeze through it. Which, I mean, 4-2, you're still breezing, but there's still that, like, if they get that one goal, anything can happen in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was my worry throughout the whole, last 10 minutes.
Yeah, if they get that one goal, they have that momentum. They're going to have that second rush of energy to try and get the equaliser. And I was worried, but I was more worried when Willian came on because...
See, I'm a big fan of him still. I still think he's all right.
Really?
Obviously, he's not been good for this club, but we'll not talk about that.
Yeah, I do get what you're saying. He's had good history at Chelsea, and I can't remember the other club he came from Chelsea. I can't remember, but like, he had good moments. He's been consistent. Like, but at Arsenal, he's been consistent, but consistently shit.
Fair.
And whenever he comes on, even if we haven't got a red card, you feel like you've gone down to 10 men. I don't understand what he brings to the team.
Obviously, before he played for, I think we'll understand why he wanted him to play. Like, why he wanted to join the club. But right now, obviously,
yeah, like, because you have the likes of Pepe, who's been in really good form, and Martinelli. And I don't know why you don't bring one like Martinelli on just to get a few minutes, because you know he'll run his arse off. And I don't know.
Or just play Saka at every position.
He does that already, doesn't he? He's mental. It's weird because I'm older than him and I'm sat here doing a podcast. But I have a question for you. Truthfully, where do you think Arsenal will finish this season?
The way we're playing now, sorry if this is bad, but I'm going to say 8th.
8th, yeah. Pretty much the same as last season, isn't it? Like,
I was going to say win the FA Cup, but then I forgot about the FA Cup.
Win the Europa League. Got that on Thursday. I'm dreading. But I think, had we beaten Wolves and Aston Villa, I would say we'd finish in the tops. We'd finish in the European spot, if I'm honest. Maybe that's me being biased and overconfident and deluded. But I mean, this season's like Tottenham were in a title race for 2 weeks. Now they're out of it. So
it's true.
It's mental.
We've still got a long way to go, but at the same time, we don't.
Yeah.
Everyone's starting to pick up form, apart from Southampton. But you know.
Yeah. And Sheffield are getting relegated without a doubt.
Well, you never know. They beat Man United. They can still find somewhere.
True. You just never know. That's the thing. This season's so weird, isn't it? This season's so weird. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, it's very, 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 very difficult to call. I do think City will win the league, without a doubt. I just think they're on another level.
Yeah.
Because we're there our next league game.
Yeah, it pains us to say this, but Man United's finishing top 3 as well.
I hate Man United fans, despite because they're just. I know people say Arsenal live off the past, but Man United are on another level of living off the past.
Yeah.
Like,
The,
at
we're
least we're
both,
winning
I
stuff
wouldn't
still.
say we're on par with each other, but like Arsenal and Man United, we do try and look for the past a lot, but
Yeah,
like
because
care for the future as well.
we're us United and Liverpool are in that conversation, but not really in the Premier League winning sense, because they only won it once after 30 years. We're like those three teams have the biggest history in England, and that's a fact. Tottenham have no history unless you go back to the 1800s. It is ridiculous, and yes, you do have to live off the past slightly when you're having debates and everything. But Man United aren't winning anything now. We won the FA Cup last season and the Community Shield. Community Shield, you get fans saying it's not a real trophy.
But like they say it's not a real trophy, but then the Man United fans, when they won the Community Shield, were very happy and all.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's one of those trophies where it's not important, but if you win it, you have that. Like, you have that.
It is a big morale booster.
Yeah.
So.
And when you beat Liverpool, especially if you've beaten the the Premier League champions, that's what makes it better.
Yeah, which we don't.
Yeah, exactly. But I have a final question. Well, we have two questions left for football. Then we'll go on to other stuff.
Sure.
Who would you say is who's your favourite ever Arsenal player of all time that you've watched?
Obviously, I'll do the one that I haven't watched since I wasn't alive, and then I'll do one that I like. I know it sounds really stupid, I really like Aubameyang, and it's the way he's brought stuff onto this team,
Yeah.
and he's give other players confidence as well. I would say,
Yeah.
when he plays with Lacazette and all, it's really good to watch.
I thought that was very sorry to butt in. I thought that was very evident today when Aubameyang's scoring goals and playing well. The whole team play as well,
Mhm.
and it is mental. But continue.
I'm happy he's our captain as well.
I wouldn't have him as captain personally, because to me he's not captain material. But I mean, if he's banging in goals now, I'm all for it.
Who would you have as a captain?
Who would I have as my captain? Kieran Tierney.
Fair.
He would be because he's been at this club a small amount of time, but take when we played Leeds before at Ellen Road.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the game, with the whole Pepe red card, he was there like he has that passion for any club he plays for, and I think he should be captain, or even Rob Holding, someone who understands the club, like maybe even Partey eventually, if he shows that leadership to be another Vieira.
Would you give it back to Granit Xhaka or not?
No, I think he's a good leader when he's not captain, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I think having that armband gives him a bit too much pressure. He has too much pressure on him, like that everything that happened at that Crystal Palace game, which pissed me off beyond reason. I don't think he deserves to have it back after what he done. Yeah, he could be a good leader, but I don't think he deserves it, in my opinion.
I respect him as a player, though. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, he's very up and down. I think when it's him and Partey, that's when Xhaka's at his best, because he knows he can kind of do his own thing, and Partey is able to control that midfield.
That free kick against Chelsea.
So my older brother is a Chelsea fan. And you can imagine the reaction during that game when that happened.
Yeah, it's the same with my younger brother. He's a Chelsea fan. So
yeah.
I kind of rubbed it in his face, because he always rubbed us in the face with that Europa League fight.
And then we beat him in the FA Cup final. We beat him then.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But so that's your favourite current player. Who's your do you have a favourite player who you didn't get to watch, who you've seen clips of, or?
Well, I've seen clips of. People would think I would say Thierry Henry, but I prefer Ian Wright.
Ian Wright. Oh, fair enough. Yeah. No, Ian Wright is an icon. Unfortunately, I never got to see him play as well. My stepdad did. He's been an Arsenal fan like since he can remember. Like he watched the '89 win, the Invincible. I was technically alive during the Invincibles, but I was too young to actually understand what was going on.
Yeah, my uncle's Arsenal fan, and he just took us to Arsenal games. He took us to the Emirates Cup. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm.
And it was my first game I went. It was back in like 2015 because obviously I lived down north areas.
Yeah.
It was what was it, 6-0? We beat Leon 6-0. It was good.
Yeah. So my stepdad works at Arsenal. He's a steward. So yeah, like being an Arsenal fan, being a steward is just insane. Like
lucky shite.
And I just think he's the best generation for an Arsenal fan, really, isn't he? He's seen '89, which a documentary has been made about, a movie. If you haven't seen it, I genuinely recommend it. Thierry Henry, Bergkamp, Ian Wright, he's lived all through that. He's lived through our worst and our best. And he's reliving the worst at the moment.
Well, the worst with some good bits.
Yeah. It's like you put shit on a cone, but you still have sprinkles on it.
We'll go for good youth players. We can say that.
Saka, Smith Rowe, so many good players. But my personal favourite player that I've managed to watch is actually Cesc Fabregas. Because I like playing in midfield. I like being kind of a creative outlet, box to box. I like assisting more like scoring goals. I know Fabregas scores, and don't get me wrong, I love scoring goals. But Fabregas is the player who made me fall in love with football. And when he went to Chelsea, that was heartbreaking, really. Because I always love midfielders, box-to-box midfielders, goal-scoring midfielders, creative midfielders. Like Mesut Ozil with Alexis Sanchez, loved him. Aaron Ramsey, loved Ramsey and Fabregas. And then there's obviously Thierry Henry.
And then you've got Smith Rowe as well, which scores and passes.
He's, I don't know if you know, he's now our top assister for the season.
I didn't know.
Yeah, after
Saka?
today. Saka, I think Saka's actually the best performing teenager in the league. And people try and compare him to Mason Greenwood. I'm sorry, Saka's clear.
I've seen a video of Mason Greenwood and I don't like him.
Like, he's got that potential, but I don't think he's good. He's not at the moment, at least, he's not on the scale of Saka.
Don't get me wrong, if he scores for England, I'll be very happy.
Yeah, that's the same with Harry Kane, though. I hate Harry Kane, despise him. But if he scores for England, that goes out the window. I don't care who you play for, as long as you play well for the club, for the country. I don't care, and that's what I think.
The only time I've hated Harry Kane is in the World Cup semi-final. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Off the TV because I knew it was going downhill.
Heartbreaking. That World Cup was heartbreaking, if I'm honest.
It was heartbreaking, but it was fun because we got the semi-final and we showed that we've got potential.
Yeah. Although I personally think Gareth Southgate shouldn't be England manager. I don't think he's good enough. Think of the youth we have in that. We have the next golden generation, essentially, on paper, with the potential of these players, and you're wasting them with Gareth Southgate.
Yeah, we do have some. We do play like a good few youth players, though. So
yeah, I'd happily take bloody Sean Dyche at this point. Like, even Arsene Wenger. Like,
yeah, would you take Roy Hodgson back?
No, no. I wouldn't take any of the ex-managers back because they've all been sacked for a valid reason.
True. When I watched like highlights of Roy Hodgson, I couldn't believe he was England manager once.
It's mental, and that whole Euros and everything.
We go to beat Wales. Everyone's happy at the end of school. Everyone's like, we'll beat the Wales and then get beat off Iceland.
I took the day off school for that.
I didn't take the day off school because they were premiering in the hall.
Oh, were they? They didn't do that in my school.
I was just sitting there watching the game, and We won, and then was it a weekend when the Iceland game was on?
I
Can't
think
remember.
so.
I remember sitting there just.
So I remember at that Euros, Harry Kane was taking corners. Like,
Yeah, there was a lot of questionable stuff.
yeah,
Was it the last Euros when Rooney was at as well?
I think so. Yeah, I feel like he was. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a long time. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, that's the football talk. If you want me to do more football talk on this podcast, let me know. Ask us some questions about football in the comments. And yeah, so move away from football. We'll go onto TV shows. Your honest thoughts on WandaVision so far?
One of the best things I've watched in a while. It's really improving my Fridays. Just
Would
me
you say?
getting a bit. Yeah.
Would you say it's better than Mandalorian season 2?
Yeah, I would. As a big Star Wars fan, I do really
Yeah.
like that. But I prefer WandaVision right now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I love it as well. And with the last 3 episodes being an hour long each now, I'm all for it. All for it. But
yeah, well, with Mandalorian season 2, it didn't really feel like a Mandalorian thing because, like, I've watched the Clone Wars and all. It's got nothing to do with Mandalorian. Obviously, the Darksabers in there, but
yeah.
like, it doesn't really have anything to do with Mandalore in real life. Whereas WandaVision, I feel.
So would you like them to explore a bit more on the Mandalorian like aspect of it?
Yeah, would you?
I feel like they could do that now with Grogu gone.
Yeah, that's probably what they're gonna do because Bo-Katan wants the saber, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And she's gonna have to try and get Mando. So
yeah,
but you never know. She might not be the villain.
Yeah, you never know at the end of it. It's very likely at the moment that she will be, but like you said, you never know. But with WandaVision, what do you think will happen? Like, do you have any theories?
I just go by the moment sometimes because I'll have my theories and then I'll watch, like, say I'll have my theories in the 60s episode and then I'll watch the 70s episode and it's just completely different.
Yeah.
It's all my theories are just like, well, that was stupid, and like, I
Yeah.
haven't really got a theory. I just enjoy the show, and all these things are this person's Mephisto or not. Just
I
get
don't.
out.
I hate those theories because I don't think Mephisto has a role in this at all. Yes, I try and understand people's evidence. However, I think it's a bunch of bollocks. Like with Evan Peters returning, I know why he's returned, and I know why they've used Evan Peters as Quicksilver to. It is to say, look, we've got these characters, we can use them. But if Mephisto is trying to manipulate Wanda, why would he put himself in a different version of that character?
Yeah.
Like, that's my...
It's just all a bit weird because I have loads of, like, theories, and like I say, like, they all just change after a while because, like, after a certain 80s episode, everything can change.
Yeah, exactly. Because, to be honest, I do think that Agnes... I've said this since the trailer, that she's Agatha Harkness, and I've only recently seen people now come out and say, "Oh yeah, it's Agatha Harkness." I've literally been saying it since the trailer came out, and I think it's Agatha Harkness and Nightmare behind behind manipulating Wanda and teaching Agatha teaching Wanda how to use her chaos and like expand her magic.
I really wouldn't mind if Agnes is just a generic person. And just get on the nerves of every Marvel fan.
It would piss everyone off if they just say, "Oh yeah, she's just a normal person." But I don't know. It is very, very, very difficult, isn't it, to predict, especially with Marvel.
Especially when everything's different every episode as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's so different, isn't it? But
it is really good though, and I really enjoy it, and I'm really interested in Elizabeth Olsen. But
you don't understand. If people have seen my WandaVision reaction, you understand.
Yes, I saw your little tribute kind of thing.
Honestly, I've been a simp since before she was in Marvel, and and yeah. But so WandaVision is obviously like it's coming out. We've got 3 more episodes, and straight after, pretty much, we're getting Falcon Winter Soldier.
Is it the next weekend after it?
I
That it
think
comes
so.
out?
Yeah, it comes out on the 19th of March, I believe, which is a Friday again. So I believe it is the week after. Are you hyped for Falcon?
Obviously, I've seen the Winter Soldier before. I've like watched all the films, and like I'm hyped for it, yes, but probably not as hyped as I was for WandaVision. Um,
Really?
I, I enjoy the films. I enjoy every bit of Marvel content that you get,
Hmm.
so I'll definitely be watching it. I'll definitely be looking forward to every episode, making theories and all. But it's not my most look forward to.
That really surprises me, to be honest. Like that, you saying you were more hyped for WandaVision than Falcon and Winter Soldier, because I've said it on several occasions. Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU movie of all time.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything will ever change my mind. Like even Endgame didn't beat it. I personally don't think Endgame's actually as good as people make it out to be.
Yeah, it's because it came out straight away, and everyone would think it's a great conclusion. And not.
Yeah, like going a little bit on a tangent here. My reason for it is I think Endgame actually is slightly overhyped. It's a good film. It's a satisfying conclusion to the Infinity Saga. But when you compare Endgame to Infinity War is miles ahead.
Yeah, I love Infinity War.
Like Infinity War doesn't drag, and it's better. It subverts. It does everything like better than Endgame. But Winter Soldier is just on another level. First film
The only
Russo's
part of
done.
Infinity War I didn't really like, and this is an unpopular opinion, kind of as well, because when Thor's making his Stormbreaker, I feel like that goes on forever. I feel like it's
Yeah.
like half the movie. He's
Well,
just there.
they did have to spend quite a bit of time like explaining it, didn't they? Give a
Yeah,
little bit of backstory, and like that's how Thanos got the gauntlet and everything. However, I do actually dislike people saying that Thor actually survived the star, because technically he was dead. If Groot didn't make the handle to Stormbreaker,
I did cry at that. I will tell you, I did cry at that.
Thor's on the floor, not moving. And then when Stormbreaker's done, that's obviously the connection that ends up healing Thor. And people try and use that as a backup to why Thor is the most powerful character in the MCU. He's not even close, and I've done videos on this. And I'm actually going to get into that right now because I haven't actually properly addressed this yet. So I made the video saying Wanda is strongest Avenger. I was meant to put most powerful. That was my mistake, and I put my hands up to it. Said, "Yep, I should have put powerful. It's an honest mistake. It's not that deep at the end of the day." Although there is the argument that her powers are her strength. There is that argument, but people are petty and ridiculous, like the whole Rey Skywalker situation. But
Yeah, the Rey Skywalker.
we can get into that later. With this, I do. So this person commented saying Thor is the most powerful, and I was like, in a jokey way, I'm pretty sure I responded like, "Ha ha ha, you're wrong," but tell me why. Because in a jokey way, I say you're wrong. I know that could come across like I'm being a bit of a dickhead, but like I have facts, I have evidence to back up my point, and proof. And the only thing he ever said is that Thor survived and took the full power of the star, which I mean, he would have died if it wasn't for Stormbreaker. Let me ask you, who do you think is the most powerful in the MCU?
Right. Can I say with the Infinity Stones as well? Like, because I'm gonna say a mix between Thanos, Captain Marvel, and Wanda.
We'll go. Just go heroes. Just go heroes. Who do you think is the most powerful hero?
It's a tie between Wanda and Captain Marvel, to be honest.
Yeah. So Thor's not even in the conversation.
No, not really.
Exactly. And this person's saying, like about the whole star, and I'm like, okay, he done that, but let's look at what Wanda's done. She destroyed an Infinity Stone with one hand while holding back the other 5
Yeah.
with Thanos there. She those saw machines in Infinity War, she lifted all of them up and just chucked them. And
I mean,
she
she did nearly kill Thanos as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. The funny thing is that Kevin Feige was asked who he thinks the most powerful is, and he said Wanda. So if the person in charge of everything and whose story it is says that she's the most powerful, she's the most powerful.
Yeah.
It's like if George Lucas came out and said Jar Jar Binks is the most powerful, he's the most powerful.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, because I did say that to him, and he's like, "Well, it's not Kevin Feige's story." And I was like, "It is." I'm like, "Whose story is it then?" He's like, "Stan Lee's." Stan Lee didn't write the MCU.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's based off his characters, yes, but he didn't write the MCU. I know Kevin Feige technically didn't, but he's in charge of all decisions. He's in charge of what happens. Although I do actually think a lot of the writers are part of the MCU are shit. For example, the writers who done Spider-Man: Homecoming and Far From Home are horrific. I've made a whole video of that on my YouTube. I don't know if you have watched it.
This is probably the reason, the only disagreement I've got for me. I love the recent Spider-Mans so much.
Yeah.
I just think it's because I like comedy in movies. That's why I like Deadpool, like Guardians of the Galaxy, and all that.
Guardians of the Galaxy is brilliant. James Gunn knows how to write a film. But how am I gonna? So do you like both Spider-Man films? Honestly.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
I like it, but not as much as like the original Sam Raimi kind of
Sam,
Spider-Man.
oh my God. Don't even get me started. I could go on for hours about Sam Raimi. And John Watts couldn't handle Spider-Man. And I don't think he'll be able to handle Fantastic Four, in my opinion.
Well, you never know. It might be good.
Yeah, exactly. I really, really, really want to be proven wrong. But he hasn't done anything to warrant me to trust him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can get why you would say that. But...
Because I've gone heavily in depth on this on my personal YouTube, Harrison Campion. I don't know if you've seen that video, but I go in depth on why I don't like MCU Spider-Man. And uploading that video, I was scared for bad response or anything of people calling me a gatekeeper. And obviously we've had a few conversations. I like to think I'm the furthest thing away from a gatekeeper. But I like Tom Holland, but I think people need to understand that in Spider-Man, he's barely in school, like in high school, in the comics. And I feel like people don't understand that. Because you watch it, and as someone who's genuinely a diehard Spider-Man fan who loves Spider-Man with all his heart, I just don't enjoy it, and it breaks my heart to not enjoy it.
Did you like him in Civil War?
Yeah, I did. Because he has that emotional scene with Tony, and he does reference a little bit of Uncle Ben, but then Uncle Ben's forgotten.
The only closest thing we get to Uncle Ben is on the suitcase and Far From Home.
Yeah, in Homecoming, we get one reference saying, May wouldn't let me do this anymore after everything that's happened. And then the suitcase. And let me ask you this, say you're a superhero. We've all imagined that we're superheroes at one time. If your uncle had died and you only had a suitcase to remember him by, and it got blown up, are you telling me you wouldn't feel sad at all?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I would feel sad, but I think there was an interview. I don't think it was with Kevin Feige. I think it was just with the director at the end of Far From Home. He said we don't want to do all this stuff. We've seen it all before or not. So
Would you want them to do it?
I think it'd be cool to see how they would portray it. Like, because
Yeah.
it's pretty much the same simple thing of, oh, Uncle Ben got shot.
But I think he's caught up in doing an origin story, but I don't think he realizes you don't have to do an origin story to do Uncle Ben. Because a point I make in my video is if you have never seen Spider-Man 1 in the Raimi trilogy, you can still watch Spider-Man 2 and understand the connection Uncle Ben had to Peter without the origin.
Yeah, you are giving good points, and I like every Spider-Man film. I prefer. I wouldn't say I prefer any. I just like them all three, but I really do like the MCU one at the same time.
Yeah, no, but that's completely fair. I'm happy. Like, we disagree. If I'm honest, I'm actually happy because we're able to have a debate. And I'm not going to be like
the
Blackbird.
connection he has, like when he's like with fighting against Bucky and like
that's one of my favorite scenes.
Just winding him up with Falcon there.
Yeah, because he quips. He does quip. And everything. It's the same with Black Panther. I don't like the Black Panther movie, but the Russos handle the Black Panther so much better. Do you like Black Panther?
Well, I don't want to sound like a bad person, but I just didn't like it. I didn't like it as much like Age of Ultron, Thor Ragnarok. I preferred stuff like that films like Ragnarok. And not Ragnarok's my favorite movie out of them all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just it's the comedic value of it mixed with loads of good action.
Yeah, Taika Waititi done a brilliant job on that film. To be honest,
I can't wait for Love and Thunder. I really can't wait for it.
Yeah. However, I'm not a fan of the set pictures that got leaked of what Thor's wearing, if I'm honest.
He could be trying to disguise in or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you just never know, really. Like, that's the thing with Marvel. It's so difficult to predict stuff. Although I did predict Iron Man would die before Infinity War, that he would die in one of the Avengers films.
I just want like the Thor movie to be like on Earth again. I just want to see some Earth action. Obviously, you can make as much worlds as you want, do what you want, but I want to see more of an Earth kind of thing.
I don't think we will personally.
I just want to see what the Guardians of the Galaxy are like on the Earth.
Yeah.
Obviously they were in a different.
We didn't really see it that much, though, did we?
No.
It would be kind of cool. Now you say that, it would be kind of cool to see Peter Peter Quill walk around Earth now. Walk around like Missouri.
Dancing footloose and just wandering around.
It would be kind of cool.
And it's the best movie ever, which I don't think it is, but
yeah. What would you say is your least favorite MCU film?
Ooh. Like I said, I love Marvel. I recently just watched Iron Man 2 again. People hate that, but I love it.
Yeah.
Good question.
It's a difficult question because there is so many.
I would say, even though it's got loads of stuff in it, I don't like the original Thor. I think it's interesting, like the storyline and all. I just think for a very short movie, it goes on forever.
I personally think Thor is one of the most underrated movies in the MCU.
See, I think Thor: The Dark World's one of the most underrated.
I despise that film. I don't think it's good at all. It introduces an Infinity Stone, but it's just crap in my opinion.
Was it that one that his mom died in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got quite a tad bit upset there, but not major.
So
I'm not a big fan of Age of Ultron as much as the original Avengers and the other three together.
I do think Age of Ultron is the weakest out of all the Avengers films. However, it is underrated, I think, but it's because the other Avengers films are very good.
I've got a massive bar in it. Age of Ultron's just below that.
Yeah. It's so difficult, isn't it? To rank it and to say what is your least favorite. But we touched on it a little bit with gatekeepers and everything. What are your honest opinions on gatekeepers?
Just arseholes. Simple way about it.
Yeah.
They just need to accept stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
And just realize that you can't do anything. You can't do anything about it. So just grow up, be mature, and just.
I think it gets to the point where it's because they think like, oh, I've been a fan for 10 years, you've been a fan for 5 years, I'm superior to you. And it's like,
Yeah.
you're not. And like, I done a podcast with Sawyer. I'm pretty sure that was the last podcast I done, or 2 podcasts ago. And I was talking to him, and I was like, I think it's really unfair how women are actually treated in this sort of this sort of area of content, because gatekeepers automatically think women aren't true fans because they're women, which in my opinion, is disgusting.
Yeah. It's not nice.
Yeah.
And especially when I think some of the women characters are the best characters we've got. Like,
Yeah.
if we're seeing like Scarlet Witch, we'll call her for this, and we've got Black Widow, you've got Rey, you've got Ahsoka, all of them like
Yeah.
characters. Winning. I just feel like they're great characters.
Yeah. And what does annoy me like the most is people who can't accept the fact that Rey is a Skywalker.
Yeah. I've never really touched on it apart from making a few jokes about it, how she is. But like, if anyone would ever comment on my post, I wouldn't block them. I would just shut them up because I just don't. I like the ending of Rise of Skywalker. I love Rise of Skywalker. It's in my top 5. And I just really enjoy how it ended. Being Rise of Skywalker as a perfect ending. I just think it's cool.
Yeah, like, oh crap, dropped my drink. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of Rise of Skywalker, if I'm honest. I think it's quite a poor film. However, as much as I don't like the fact that she took the Skywalker name, I think like she's a Skywalker. There's nothing I can do about it. You've just got to accept it at this point. And obviously the likes of like Choco, Element 7, like they have to deal with it on a daily, and it just gets to the point where it's like, you're all right, like just accept what happened and move on with your life. Her being a Skywalker doesn't affect you personally, does it? Like,
yeah, it's a bit stupid because coming up in December, if people are still talking about it in December, it's been 2 years since you said she's a Skywalker. Just get over it.
I might, do you know what? I might do a video on like the 2-year anniversary of the Rise of Skywalker with a poll saying, what is Rey? Who is Rey? A Skywalker or a Palpatine, and see what actually happens.
And just mark that people can't get over it 2 years later.
Because I, as much as I hate gatekeepers, I love luring them in to comment on my videos, because like you're giving me what I want at this point. If I make a video trying to lure you in and you're commenting, you've given me what I want.
Yeah, J. Kevin Parker does that a lot, and I love seeing
Yeah.
it. It's really funny. And me and J. Kevin Parker are good friends. We talk quite a lot, and it's just like we'll laugh at people that just can't accept stuff.
Yeah. Like, there are a lot of people I'd love to get on the podcast to actually have a proper conversation with. Which, I mean, will it ever happen? You never know. You can never know what the future holds. And like, I love it because they get so triggered, don't they? Like, it's just fun because I've gotten to the point where like if I do it, I just reply with a bunch of waffle emojis because they're just waffling at this point. But I mean, there's not much you can do really apart from tease them. But we've spoken about quite a few things, to be fair. And I was just wondering, you say Rise of Skywalker is in your top 5?
Do you want to give you my top 5?
Yeah, give us your top 5.
The Last Jedi is my favorite. Then we got Empire Strikes Back. Then we got then we got what's it called? Rogue One.
Yeah.
We've got Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Then we've got Rise of Skywalker.
That's it's a very like mix and match top 5, isn't it?
Star Wars, so it was tough for us to make. But if I think about it, if I could watch the whole movie without, I wouldn't say I get bored of Star Wars, but I need to have a good attention span to keep on going and going. And then movies just keep us watching them.
Yeah.
No
Um,
disrespect to the other movies because I love the others as well. But
that's the thing that I think when you do rankings, people automatically assume what's at the bottom you hate. But it's like, I don't hate any of the Star Wars films. I actually like them all. But
yeah,
it is difficult. Like, I think I have the ranking on my phone because I don't have a video on it.
this might trigger people, but like I've got Return of the Jedi as one of my least favorites, but I still love it. I just
Uh,
don't like Return of the Jedi because it's very slow at the beginning,
mm.
and it just gets on my nerves a bit. So
So my top five is, top is Revenge of the Sith. I just love that film. Second is actually Return of the Jedi. um, third is Empire. I rewatched Empire. Yeah, I like it, but I don't understand the hype around it. I just
mm.
personally, I don't get the hype, and I'd love someone to try and change my mind about it, but I just don't understand the hype around it.
I think it's the main part of like you're getting proper battles, and obviously you've seen the Death Star explode in the first one. This is the one where you just see them fighting. You see Darth Vader and Luke. I love that battle
Mm.
scene. It was amazing. And just Han and Chewie in this and all. It's just
Chewie's my favorite non-force wielding character.
my favorite non-force wielding is Han Solo. So
Yeah. See, four is A New Hope. I actually really like A New Hope. And the fifth one is actually quite, I'd argue, controversial. Is Attack of the Clones.
damn.
I I don't know why, but I just love Attack of the Clones. It's my guilty pleasure um for Star Wars.
I don't mean it
Like,
in a bad way, but I think the prequels are as good as people think they are now is because of the Clone Wars.
yeah, no, I completely back that. I think the prequels are heightened due to the Clone Wars.
And then I think that's why people like the original trilogy. Obviously, I love the original trilogy. The reason people I think like that as well because Rebels gives you some information
I
and
love
stuff.
Rebels.
I'm on the last season. I've only missed the
Yeah,
last two episodes, so
it's very up and down, I think, with the seasons. But I think I just really enjoyed it. But it's difficult. Like, I don't know, it's just difficult because it's so difficult to rank them. But when I uploaded my ranking, I was actually afraid to put it out with my number fifth because of Attack of the Clones.
mhm.
Because I know what people can be, and like I can take hate, but it depends if it starts getting like proper personal. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
like,
that's happened a few times with Darth Jocko, and I've had to delete the comments from him. I was like,
yeah,
it's a shame because like he loves the Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi, then Empire, or it's the other
yeah,
way around, Empire not. And he gets hate for liking the Last Jedi. So then I've openly admitted I've liked it, and everyone just doesn't really care. It's
yeah.
shit.
It's just getting to the point where I think, especially with Choco, because of how big he is on TikTok, people will hate on him because it's behind his screen and everything. And it's like, if they were, say I'm a little runt, sending hate to him. He says, "All right, come on my podcast." Um, they would, their tone would change
Yeah, that's what happened
completely.
with Blackbird. I don't know if you watched that.
Yeah, I did. I was watching it live. Yeah,
Blackbird, like he was like saying all this stuff about Choco saying, "I respect you," while making his TikToks, and then he got onto his Twitch and done the live stream. He was like, "Yeah, I support that. I love Ray as a character," and then goes on about how Ray's a Mary Sue. But like,
because I was talking. I was talking to people with it, and I was just like, "All right, what is this guy saying?" Like, I don't know. But that's what Star Wars is. It's debates, and I love it. But it's when people start getting aggressive and too personal with it.
yeah,
That's
especially for just the movie as well.
it's a movie. It doesn't affect you personally. Like, it doesn't. Let's be honest. It's not going to affect the future of anything really. Just
Yeah,
enjoy the movie, enjoy the moment, and move on with your life.
yeah, it's correct because like people just need to accept stuff and
Yeah.
like realize that people can have opinions about varied stuff. But as
Mm.
soon as it comes to a really worldwide franchise, they just seem to forget everything.
Mm.
It's stupid. Like, I love The Last Jedi. I don't know why. Just think about it. I came out the movies thinking, oh wow, everyone's gonna love The Last Jedi. Everyone's gonna think it's the best movie ever. It's great, ties into The Force Awakens, gives everyone the feels, but yeah.
I'll be honest, I walked out the cinema with Last Jedi and I hated it.
Mhm.
And I'll be honest, I was very against everything with it, but I listened to reason. I didn't hate anyone on it. I just casually said my opinion, saying I'm not the biggest fan, said why, people accepted it. I watched Choco, Element 7 talk about it, and I've grown to appreciate what it done. And I am growing to like it more, to the point where it's now in my ranking. It's the highest out of the sequels.
I love all the sequels. I respect every movie. I think Rian Johnson's probably one of the best directors there is, to be honest. And
What,
I
Star
love,
Wars directors?
yeah.
Okay, I was going to say,
I,
if you're going off all directors, I'm going to have to disagree.
Nah, I would say he's better than J.J. Abrams, because no disrespect to J.J. Abrams, because I love his movies, but like seeing his trying to always be nostalgic doesn't work when you want a new
Yeah.
storyline.
Yeah, I
So
get.
I do really appreciate what everyone's done for the Star Wars sequels, but me personally, I think The Last Jedi is the best.
Yeah, that's complete. That's a valid opinion, but people won't say it's a valid opinion. Like, obviously, right. So we've spoken a bit about football, spoken Marvel, we've spoken Star Wars. You have a podcast which is starting. Did you want to promote that a bit, or?
Well, it's just it's called the Jedi Council Podcast. Not on my other channel, which I'm gonna do a bit like you, Harrison, where I'm just gonna make random videos on there as well. Just
Yeah.
trailer. Like I've got a good. Can I tell them my first host if you want
Yeah,
to say
yeah,
that? I've got Jake, Kevin Parker, and Element 7. Hopefully, Element 7's coming on, and we're going to be talking about toxicity in the fandom and just gatekeeping, and then we're going to go brief talk about everything in Star Wars, and just it's going to go on for about an hour, 2 hours. So that's what my expectations are. Element said
yeah,
he'll have down for a good 5 hours and just chat. But like yeah, I'm happily talk to you about it if you want to come on.
I'll happily come on.
Yeah, it's called the Jedi Council Podcast. I got the
Yeah,
idea because as soon as I get a green screen, I want to pretend I'm sitting on a Jedi Council seat and all that, and just make
yeah,
it seem pretty cool. And then just talk about Star Wars. I'll try and do a bit like you as well and just talk about random stuff. But since it's called the Jedi Council
yeah.
Podcast, it's
You've kind of
Star Wars.
limited yourself a little bit,
Yeah.
but that's the thing.
The
Talk about whatever you want.
Jedi Council talk about whatever they want at times as
Yeah.
well. You've got to talk about some sort of sport or something.
But yeah, no, like, who would be a dream guest on your podcast?
I'm hoping to do like 2 or more.
Me.
Well, I'm hoping to do 12 people. I'm hoping to do like 3+ people sometimes on my podcast. So, do you want us to give it individual, like one-on-one person, or like 4 people on my podcast?
We'll do individual and then your dream joint.
Okay, well, I would love to just sit down and talk to Darth Choco for hours on end about all that stuff because he's a really kind person. He understands as well. And obviously, I've had the pleasure of being his good friend for a while now.
Yeah.
And just talking to him. And he's, yeah, I would happily have him on. And then going to like a dream 3 other people. I would have you because I know how nervous you would get around Element and Dark Choco. I'll put them 2 on just so I can hear you like stutter and try and ask them questions.
I stutter anyway.
So yeah, I'll probably say you, Element, and Dark Choco.
Yeah.
And then do you want us to just say my other 3 but with like females in it
Yeah,
as well?
can do. Yeah.
We'll go Sawyer because I met Sawyer via Choco's podcast and she's always been nice to us. Count Bo-Katan, which is also someone called Hannah. It's one of Sawyer's best friends. She's really nice to us. And then the person I made my recent TikTok about, Meeks. Meeks is honestly one of my best friends, and he always does stuff. and we always like just get along and chat like me and you do every now and again. So I'd have them on, and we could talk about females in Star Wars and like how people will be portrayed and all, and their dream cast and all. And then whereas with you, Element and Choco, I would just talk about whatever I want as well.
Yeah, because that's the thing that with stuff I could ramble on for hours, especially with Marvel. Like Spider-Man, I think that Spider-Man video uploaded, I think it came out at 24 minutes. I think footage-wise, there was about an hour of footage of me just waffling about Spider-Man.
Was that a lot of editing for you, or did you find good keeper?
I'm not gonna lie, my friend edited it for me because I couldn't be asked. So yeah, he also he's edited all my YouTube videos because essentially he's doing media at uni, and when he edits my videos, it actually goes towards his stuff at uni. So it's essentially a win-win. He's getting work experience and everything, and like it helps him with his uni work, and it's also helping me to grow.
That's cool.
And
did he make the Elizabeth Olsen tribute?
Yes.
Damn.
There's a full, I think, 2-minute video because he said, "Can you send me a video of you doing random facial expressions?" So there's a full minute or 2-minute video of me going like that, just to make those things. And
can't imagine how awkward that must be. There's like just random white noise coming around your bedroom, and you're just making weird noises, making faces and that.
Honestly, though, I've gotten to the point where I don't really get embarrassed about a lot of stuff because I just don't really give. Excuse my language here. I don't really give a shit what people think of me.
Yeah, I think we need to have that mentality. People expect us to have that mentality when we're making TikToks as well.
Yeah.
They expect us because we've got our face pretty much on a TikTok nearly every day. So they expect us to not care what people say. They expect us to be happy, which obviously you're not all the time. And
yeah, I'm not happy all the time. Like a lot of videos I don't post if I'm unhappy. And yeah, like no one can be happy 24 hours a day. And I always try and look out for my friends and ask them how they're doing all the time. And yeah, like I don't know. It's difficult. I feel like if you're putting yourself out there, you need to be able to take a certain amount of hate.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying you have to be able to tolerate every single bit of hate, but you have to be able to take a certain point. Like, to be able to just say, like, oh, what, you're behind a screen, you're a pussy, fuck off. Like,
oh, that would be nice to do sometimes, but sometimes I just can't be asked to do that as well. Just say that.
Yeah, that's why I just gotten to the point where I just reply with waffle emojis because I'm just like, you're just waffling, mate. No one gives a shit. Like,
yeah, or I just simply do. If I don't get excessively hate, I don't really get it much. With many people from my school trying to be a pain, I just delete the comment.
If I was still in school and people tried to comment on like stuff like that, I'd just say cheers. I just say cheers for commenting. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I got called a gimp, and I went okay, buddy, and then he replied, "What do you mean?" And I just deleted his comment.
You shouldn't. You delete comments if you want, but my mentality is if you keep the comment, they're losing because they want you to delete it.
Yeah.
Like that person I was on about who I had the debate with about Wanda and Thor. I think he ended up actually blocking me because of what I said, and it's like I've proven you wrong, and you're blocking me.
Yeah.
Like,
it's stupid. But would you go straight to a block if someone took it personally?
How personal are we talking?
Just like family, and just saying stuff about family.
If they spoke about my mum, I'd just give it to them back 10 times worse.
Yeah, like the same part of my family. If they make out my brother, I'll take it as a joke until he keeps on consistently doing, because my brother would just joke on to the first place. So
yeah, like if they spoke shit about my brothers, like they can take it. I know my brothers can take it. To take the piss out of my stepdad, he doesn't give a shit. My mum probably won't give a shit. And like it's to the point where like if they fully take the piss out of one of my friends, then it's a bit like, what the fuck you doing? Like, you don't know anything about us. Piss off. But so my dad, who I don't see anymore, had cancer. So if they got to the point of taking the piss out of that, then I'd be like, right, you're fucking sick in the head. And you need to sort yourself out. Like, if you get to a point where you're actually wishing death upon someone's family member, or upon someone, you seriously need help.
Yeah, that's bad. Like, I would go as far as reporting that. To be honest, like, if that ever happened,
If it was that, I'd report it. But like, I've gotten to a point where it's like, I don't really care. Like, if I got hate, I don't get too much hate. But if I do get hate, I just reply with cheers. Like, back in early days of my TikTok, when I'd done constant movie facts, when I used to take the piss, really, people used to try and give me hate, like, oh, see, you're fucking obvious and shit like that. And I just really like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I'd be sarcastic with my response. End of the
I love
day.
sarcasm. Sometimes people don't understand what sarcasm is, and you get them not. So
sometimes that makes it funnier as well.
yeah, it's good.
But I think at the end of the day, you're never going to get rid of toxicity. It's just, and it's unfortunate. I don't think you're ever going to get rid of toxicity. You're never going to get rid of like online abuse or racism, which footballers experience on the daily. And it's disgusting at the end of it, but I wish there was something we could do. But
yeah, it's relating to all the like what's going on with the referees at the minute or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, in general.
Exactly.
Like, don't get me wrong, the referee, I wouldn't say he did a bad decision. I just don't like that referee in general. Like, sending stuff about his family.
Yeah, if you ever send death threats, I think you're the one who needs help. Like, if you get to the point of sending death threats.
Obviously, everyone can, like, play out here because they're like, oh, you play for the rival, and you're like, oh, I don't like you. Well, you secretly don't, like, I don't hate Harry Kane. I just don't like him because he plays for Tottenham.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't hate him personally. I just despise the club he plays for.
He can be quite arrogant, which I get annoyed with him at times, but that's about it.
But yeah, no, I think we've had a good conversation here.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, you're always welcome back on. Whenever you want.
Appreciate it. I'll surely get you on sometime.
I mean, I'll happily come on. I had a good conversation. Football, Marvel, Star Wars, dream podcast. Get your dream podcast guests. I have a couple dream ones, but will they ever happen? You never know.
Just say them. Just say them.
Well, it's got to be you. I don't know. Like, there's obviously the likes of like, I'd love to talk about Choco and Element about stuff, Star Wars and Marvel. Who else?
Would you have like a celebrity? Like, would you have Jamie Carragher on for an episode or something?
Jamie Carragher? I would actually, to be fair. I'd rather have Ian Wright on, as he's an Arsenal legend.
I think you and Ian Wright would just like laugh all the way through it.
I'd love Ian Wright. I fucking love Ian Wright. I've got a few people like Chris from the Dumping Ground cast. We follow each other on TikTok. I'd love to have him on. Obviously, like I said, Choco, Element. I'd happily have Sawyer back on, Alana back on.
You should do an episode sometimes where you have like you, Joe, and a few other people as well.
Yeah.
Like, have more than one person, and then you can get some conversations from other people, which will trigger other people to talk to them and all.
Yeah. Like, there are quite a few, like, even like Mesa Windu, like him, like, I'd love to talk to them, Jake Evan Parker, a lot of those people.
I generally can't wait for Jake Evan Parker though. Like, he's gonna tell us how to handle haters and all, and I just can't wait to.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna shout out my TikTok, and he's gonna just like and make people followers, and then if I get haters, he's just gonna be in the comments just winding people up. It's gonna be cool.
That's the best thing to do, because I do love the way he handles them, and I'd love to get him on and talk to him about it. But will it ever happen? You never know.
Yeah, mate. Like I just simply asked him, and he went, "Yeah, sure." And then
yeah,
it could be a problem for you, but just try and ask them. It's the best way to get them on.
yeah. Because I mean, me and Choco follow each other. I've never actually spoken to him.
He duetted your video. Come on, he duetted your video. Like I can imagine that day he followed you and duetted your video, and you would have went insane, didn't you?
Um, obviously, likes of Element. I'd love to have it on. Like those two just seem so nice, and I'd love to have like a casual conversation about everything with them. Same with Kevin, Mace or Window. Happily have Alana back on with the Loki show because she's a Loki simp. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. It's mellowed down at the end, so if you've gotten this far, comment Bumperclot nipples. This is the first thing that came to my head. But thank you all guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow Connor, subscribe to his podcast, and yeah, I'll see you lot in the next one.